Good morning, students. Am I audible? Can anyone respond?
Yes, sir.
Is there any disturbance from my side?
No.
Fine. So let's start the session in another 1 or 2 minutes. And today we'll be completing this two-dimensional array, and most probably we'll be entering into the inheritance topic. And today onwards, we'll be taking session in the evening also. Make sure that everyone has to attend. And your what BEFA class are going on in the evening?
Regular గా అయితే అవ్వట్లేదు సార్.
Okay, that means every alternate 2 days it's going on or what?
ఏమో సార్, మ్యామ్ కి మూడు వచ్చి నోట్ పెడుతున్నారు లింక్.
Oh. Fine. So today we'll be taking session. Okay, fine. Everyone respond in the chat, or else mute yourself and respond your response. Give me your response. Today, are you fine or not? 6 to 7.
Okay, sir.
ఓకే సార్.
Okay, it is not going to be like a boring session and all. Just what I used to teach. 40-45 minutes. That's it. I will not engage you complete hour. Okay. Fine. I think very less number of students is given response. Even though I will take the class, students try to attend for the class, and I will be sharing the link in the group. Okay. Fine. So let's start the session. Inheritance is very interesting and important topic, students. Right. So last class we started discussing about arrays concept. So we have seen single dimensional array, we have seen multi-dimensional, we have seen single dimensional array, how to declare single dimensional array. What's the syntax for declaring single dimensional array that we discussed in the last class. And we already seen what the programs based on this one-dimensional array. Okay, so so single dimensional array, just wait, I will make this. Okay. So single dimensional array, this was a syntax. Just we need to take what int space variable name followed by what opening subscript and closing subscript, and this subscript can be taken before the variable or after the variable, or anywhere we can take the subscript. And if you are going to take the size, then your Java compiler generates what error. And this is how we'll be constructing allocating memory for one-dimensional array, and then what we are seeing how the memory is going to be allocated. If you take the size as 0, then there won't be any problem. Or if you assign any value to a variable, then again compiler generates what error. And here we are seeing index. If we are not supposed to take negative, if you are going to take it as negative at the time of compilation, you will not be getting any error. But the time of executing the program, then Java compiler throws an exception saying negative array size exception. And like this, we discuss things, and we discussed about length variable also. I think up to this we discussed in the last class. Is it correct? Response to that?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now we'll be entering into this multi-dimensional array. Multi-dimensional arrays are nothing but arrays of arrays. and it has been divided into two things. One is two-dimensional array, other one is three-dimensional array. And if required, you can take four-dimensional array, five-dimensional array also. Generally, we'll not be going with four and five-dimensional arrays. Maximum will be going with only two and three-dimensional arrays. We'll be seeing how two-dimensional array is going to be declared in what Java, and how to access the members of two-dimensional array, and how the memory is going to be allocated for two-dimensional array. Right. So generally, if when we talk about arrays concept, and everyone will say that if you talk about one-dimensional array, they will be saying like this: an array is a collection of elements is stored in adjacent memory locations. Like that, everyone will be speaking about like this. When we talk about 1D array, when we talk about 1D array, but when we talk about two-dimensional array, when we talk about 2D array, what happens is we'll be talking, they're not going to talk about adjacent memory locations and all. Simply, they used to say that one table, and this table consists of rows and columns. Like that, they will be saying. But if you're talking about like this, a tabular format of data, no doubt, I'm very, I'm concluding that your no doubt that your two-dimensional array is used to represent a tabular format, tabular data, but it's not going to be the memory representation. This tabular representation is not going to be the memory representation of your 2D array. It's a logical representation. Most of the textbooks are giving the if you're saying that 2D array means it consists of rows and columns, and they will sometimes they used to say that 2D array means matrix, 2D array means matrix. Don't use this kind of terminology, students. If you are saying two-dimensional array means it's nothing but collection of 1D arrays. It is a collection of 1D arrays. Okay, like that we need to see, right? We are not supposed to behave like a non-technical candidate who doesn't know anything about programming, right? So we need to be in such a way that if you're talking something in programming, if you are a computer science student, then you need to expand it from technical aspect, not from what just like that whether you understood or not. You're already completed C, already completed C++. But when you're learning this Java and all, you're not supposed to say that again rows and columns, two-dimensional array means what rows and columns. That you're not supposed to say, right? So what do you mean by two-dimensional array? So in very simple words, we can say that an array is a collection of one-dimensional array. A two-dimensional array is nothing but a collection of one-dimensional array. Or else we can also define a two-dimensional array consists of two dimensions, whereas the first dimension specifies number of 1D arrays, second dimension specifies number of elements in each 1D array. First dimension specifies number of one-dimensional array and one number of one-dimensional arrays. The second dimension specifies the number of elements in each one-dimensional array. In each one-dimensional array, like that, we need to define. Or else, if you are feeling some difficulty to remember this kind of terminologies, you can go with the same thing. An array with two subscripts can be called as two-dimensional, in which first subscript represents the number of rows and second subscript represents number of columns. Like that, also you can remember. But I suggest you to say that a two-dimensional array is nothing but collection of one-dimensional arrays, in which first size represents number of one-dimensional arrays, second size represents number of elements in each one-dimensional array. Okay, right. So here, how to declare this two-dimensional array? A two-dimensional array can be declared in such a way that just a data type space array name subscript, or data type space subscript array name, or data type subscripts array name, or data type subscript x variable name and then x semicolon. Like that, we can specify the size of the, or like that we can specify what we can declare a two-dimensional array. At the time of declaring the two-dimensional array, we are not supposed to specify the size. If you specify the size, the compiler generates an error. If you specify the size, then what your Java compiler generates an error. Let's enter into the programming part of this, how we'll be doing declaration and all. See, this was the thing that we had done. So we can take the subscript here. So Java C space ex.java, there won't be any error. Okay, but when you are going to take here the size, then Java compiler generates an error. Then your Java compiler generates an error. Okay, clear with this, everyone? Right. So now let us create a two-dimensional. How to create or how to construct two-dimensional? Can anyone say? Respond, students. Instruction. How to write an instruction?
New
New space
int with two subscript size.
in two subscripts and then size. If you're not going to take size, then what happens? Here at the time of constructing, I'm not specifying any size, then it's giving that array dimension missing. Array dimension is missing. Just I'm going to take 2 and then 3, save, and I'm going to compile it. So I'm not going to get any error. So the meaning of this is 2 rows and 3 columns as per your terminology. As per my terminology, 2 1D arrays, and each 1D array size has 3 elements. Each 1D array size has what? 3 elements. Both are same. Here row can be considered as 1D array. I'm saying that rows as 1D array. That's it. 2 1D arrays, and each 1D array size is what? 3 elements. Each 1D array size has what? 3 elements. That's it. Apart from that, nothing was there. Okay, clear with this? And one more thing is here, I'm not going to take here the size. First dimension I'm specifying here, but I'm not specifying the second dimension. If I'm not going to specify second dimension, then what happens? Is it generates any error? Can anyone say?
Yes, sir. Error.
Error. Are you sure? Why it is error?
We specified the number of arrays, but we hadn't specified the size of each array.
Okay. So Srikar is saying error. What about remaining students? Remaining students are listening to the class or not? Respond. High level.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Is it error or what? Have you listened or not? Why not 4? Yes, sir. Error. We have not specified the number of elements also. Okay. 504. Why not 4? 2504.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Anani kaadu పిలిచింది ఆన్సర్ చెప్పండి ఎర్రరా కాదా 2504. Vaishnavi. See, people, you are not listening to the class. Why not 4?
Sir, 19504.
Okay, 19504. Respond with answer. Yes, 19504.
Error.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, it's error.
Error. Why? Why Vaishnavi error? Can you turn on your video once? Vaishnavi, turn on your video once. Can you show me your notes? Are you seeing what you're doing, Vaishnavi?
I'm listening, sir. Just notes is not there.
Why I asked many times to maintain notes? Java compiler doesn't generate any error. Just try to remember that. I will address this one more concept is there. I will address that concept later. Right. So clear with this thing, everyone. Declaration and construction. Response, students.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Let's take this how the memory is going to be represented for this. Let's see that also. Then we'll be seeing how to access it. See, I said many times to write the notes, but still. Okay, so int space a and is equal to new space int of 2 3. Then what happens is, so we'll be getting what as per your convenient how you are going to represent is you'll be taking one table. You'll be taking one table, and this table consists of 2 rows. This table consists of what 2 rows, and then 3 columns. It contains 3 columns. It contains 0 1 and then okay, but this is not the thing. This is just for understanding purpose, or imaginary purpose, imaginary representation. It's not exactly the memory representation of 2-dimensional array, imaginary representation of what 2D array is. So remember that if anyone says about rows and columns, then think that it's an imaginary purpose. It's not for what it's not exactly. It is not going to store what in the form of rows and columns format in the memory. It is going to be stored somewhat different, and how it is going to be stored. Let's see. First, what happens here? 2 blocks. 2 blocks will be taken here. 2 blocks will be taken here. Block 1 and block 0. And this first block contains reference of another block, and second block contains a reference of another block. Second block contains a reference of another block. So here it is what 0 1 3 elements. Okay, and in this block also again 3 elements. Okay. Now this block address is stored in this, and this block address is stored in this. This is represented as 0. This is represented as first index. Again, this was represented as 0, and this is represented as first index. This is represented as what? Second index. This is represented as 0. This is represented as first index. This is represented as what? Second index. Okay, and all these things contains a default value as 0, and here it is 0, and here it is what? 0, and here it is what? 0, and here it is 0, and here also it is what? 0. Okay, like this, the thing will be there. Okay, clear with this, everyone? This is what the memory representation. Response, students.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right, this is how memory is going to be allocated. Let us consider one more array here. Let us consider one more array here. Int space a of 2 subscripts new int space. I will be taking 3 here and then 4. So the meaning of this is what? Can anyone says? What's the meaning of this? Can anyone say? Can anyone represent what's the thing here? It's a 2-dimensional array which consists of how many rows and how many columns?
3 rows.
3
4.
rows, 4 columns. Right. In another way also we can say what is that? ఇంకో లాగా కూడా చెప్పొచ్చు కదా ఏంటది?
3 1D arrays. Each
3
array
1D arrays with 4
contains
elements.
4 elements.
Very good, right? 3 1D arrays, and each 1D array consists of how many elements? 4 elements. So 0 1 2 3 4. So like this, 3 rows and 4 columns. Now coming to the memory representation, this is an imaginary purpose. For understanding purpose, they're saying like this. They're saying like this is how we'll be representing. But memory representation point of view, what happens is first 3 blocks will be taken here. First 3 blocks will be taken here like this. Three blocks will be taken like this, 0, 1, 2. Okay, so 3 blocks will be taken like this, 0, 0, 0. Okay, and here it is first index, second index, and third index. Okay, and every block contains not 0 here, sorry. Here it is not 0, contains addresses. Okay, now next thing contains what here is each and every block contains address of one-dimensional array. Are you able to hear me, students? Are you able to hear me? Can anyone respond?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Now are able to hear me? Clear? Everything is clear from my end?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Fine, fine. Okay. So again, we'll be taking here one more block like this. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So in this case, we'll be having zeros, all default values 0. And here also 0. And here also 0. Okay. Like that, we'll be having one more block. Like that, we'll be having one more block. Like that, we'll be having one more block. And this contains addresses. This second one contains second 1D array address, and third block contains third 1D array address. And this is how you what the memory is going to be allocated, right? So one should know about the students. Just like that, I can say that what we can take what rows and columns there in the story, like that I can say. But what understanding how the memory is going to be allocated for one-dimensional array is the most important thing here. Is more two-dimensional array is the most important thing here, because we are saying the definition that an array is a collection of elements stored in adjacent memory locations, but we are not going to stick on that. Okay, because we are saying again tabular representation is going to be stored like that. We'll be saying over there. Okay, clear with this, students? Everyone make a note of this example. First of all, keep adding two-dimensional array and take this. Keep adding two-dimensional array. Yeah, go ahead, Srikar.
అడ్రస్ క్యాలిక్యులేషన్ ఒకసారి చెప్తారా సార్ 2D arrayలో?
2D array address calculation, it takes a lot of time, Srikar. When time is there, then I will be explaining you. I think you will be knowing that in C language. Do you remember that how the address is going to be done in C language? The same memory representation will be there in C language also. It takes some time based on some formula. We need to do it.
ఓకే సార్.
In C language, how they explained you, let me know that first of all, whether in C and C++, how they explain, just like they said rows and columns, or what any row major or column major arrangement they said. Response please.
రో మేజర్ కాలమ్ మేజర్ అరేంజ్మెంట్స్ అని
Have they not said about address calculation and all in CRT?
చెప్పారు సార్, కానీ కొంచెం కన్ఫ్యూజన్ ఉంది, అందుకనే అడిగాను.
Yeah, I will be explaining you. Don't know, don't worry, I will be explaining you that address calculation. It takes some time, because just like that చెప్పి వదిలేయడానికి ఉండదు అది. ఎందుకంటే ఇప్పుడు నేను ఇక్కడ ఒక 200 తీసుకొని మళ్ళీ నెక్స్ట్ అడ్రస్ ఏ ఎలిమెంట్ మీరు తీసుకున్నా కానీ ఆ ఎలిమెంట్ ఐజేకే తీసుకొని దెన్ వాట్ we can do it. I will be explaining you. Don't worry, Srikar. See, take this two-dimensional array. Make a note of this. Just now I addressed one student and she's saying that just listening. Roll number. Who is that? 514 or 504? 504, are you writing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. After completion of this class, just send me your written notes copy to me.
Fine.
So take this, all of you, fast. Completed? Completed, students?
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
So let's print these elements. So you already know that the first element can be represented by using 0. System.out.println of /t plus a of I j. Okay. And then whenever this loop is going to be terminated means then we'll be taking new line system.out.println goes with new line. Okay. Save it. Just we'll be seeing the values. So we'll be taking the space. Okay. Okay, 0 0 0 0, right? 2 rows and then 3 columns. Fine. This is how we are going to access the arrays. And now what you need to do is I will be showing you how to accept from the keyboard, how to accept one-dimensional array elements. One-dimensional array elements, I will be showing you how to accept it and how to print it. Now what you need to do is you need to write a code for matrix multiplication, matrix addition, and then matrix transpose. These 3 problems you have to solve. And try to focus here, everyone. I will be going with a different approach now. Just bear with me another 5 minutes, then you'll be understanding it very clearly. I'm going to take some set of variables here. R indicates the number of rows, C indicates the number of columns, followed by I variable I'm going to take, J variable I'm going to take, semicolon. Now, in order to read the data from the keyboard, as I already discussed that we need to create one object, and the name of that object is buffer reader object. Buffer reader BR is equal to new buffer reader, new buffer reader, new buffer reader, opening parenthesis, new input stream reader, new input stream reader. Okay. Again, in this new input stream reader, we need to give system dot in semicolon. See what I done here. Buffer reader BR is equal to new buffer reader, buffered reader, opening parenthesis, new input stream reader, opening parenthesis, system dot in, and closing parenthesis, and then semicolon, right? So here, before this, we need to take something called as throws exception, right? So why we need to take throws exception, that I will discuss in this class itself. Just see here, I'm going with import space java.lang.star. This will be there automatically if you're not going to import. And then import space java.io.star semicolon. Why I'm importing this java.io.star semicolon is that because this buffer reader is from that package, java.io package. This input stream reader class is from java.io package. That's the reason I'm going to import this java.io package. Okay, clear with this everyone? Buffer reader object I'm creating, and new buffer reader. To this buffer reader object I'm sending one more object, that is new input stream reader, and to this new input stream reader I'm sending something called as system.in. I'm sending something called as system.in. Here I would like to make one statement very clear for you, is that buffer reader consists of some predefined functions which are used to read the data from the keyboard. Buffer reader is one class which is there in java.io package, and this buffer reader consists of predefined methods which are used to read the data from the keyboard, right? So buffer reader, for that I require buffer, I need to create an object for this buffer reader, because buffer reader contains some methods and I use those methods. So for that purpose I'm creating an object of buffer reader. But at the time of creating buffer reader object, this buffer reader object need a input stream reader object, so that what I'm doing is I'm creating input stream reader object between opening and closing parentheses of buffer reader object creation. You can see between opening and closing parentheses of buffer reader object. See, between opening and closing parentheses of buffer reader object, I'm creating what input stream reader object. This is how we are creating an object, right? Now what I'm doing is I'm sending input stream reader object to this. If you are facing some difficulty for this, so what we can do is we can take like this: input stream reader ISR is equal to new input stream reader, and this new input stream reader consists required system.in. So what I'm doing is here I'm going to take ISR like that. I can take here. Clear with this everyone? And why we are taking this ISR over here, that I will discuss in unit 4. Don't worry about this. Is it clear for everyone? Input stream reader ISR is equal to new input stream reader system.in. System is class, in is what object? In is an object, or you can consider this as a keyboard. And this thing I'm creating, I'm sending this ISR object to buffer reader class, buffer reader object. Is it clear what I've done? Response, students.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now what I'm doing is I need to take the number of rows from the user, number of columns from the user, and then I need to create an array. After that, I need to accept array elements. After accepting array elements, then I need to print those array elements back to the user. So in order to accept the data from the keyboard, I need to add buffer reader object, because buffer reader contains one method. The name of that method is readline method. Readline method. It is used to read the data from the keyboard. It is used to read the data from the keyboard. Okay, it reads complete line. It reads complete line. Okay, it reads complete line. That means, suppose I'm giving some statement, system dot out dot println enter number of rows. Okay, now I'm going to take br dot read line, br dot read line. So what happens is that this br dot read line is going to read that number of rows. Just I'm going to save it. I'm going back here and I'm going to compile it. Not taken semicolon. has to work. Cannot find symbol. Okay. Import space java.lang.star. Right. So no problem here. Now Java space -ex. Now it's asking me enter number of rows. I'm going to enter number of rows as 10 and then I'm going to press enter button. When I press enter button, it is going to be terminated. And how you are entering the data as input to your in your C language, you will be asking enter any two integers, means you will be entering 10 space 20 and then you will be getting an output over there. Okay, here also same thing, enter number of rows, means I'm going to enter 10. If this 10 was read in the by this br.read line, I need to store this value. But what happens is that this br.read line is going to read the data in the form of string, is going to read the data in the form of what? A string. Now that string I need to convert in the form of integer, For that what I can do is I can use wrapper classes, and that wrapper classes are nothing but integer dot, this is one class, wrapper class integer capital I dot parse int opening and closing parenthesis, right? Now I'm going to store that in R variable. R is equal to integer dot parseInt of br dot read line. The meaning of this is it is going to what it is going to read, that is br dot read line is going to read a line, and that line data was converted by using what? Integer dot parseInt. ParseInt is one method. Integer is one class. ParseInt is one method. Integer is one class. ParseInt is one method. Integer is one class. Now this parseInt method, what it does, it reads that br.readline reads 10, and that 10 is going to be converted in the form of integer and stored in integer variable called R. And same thing happens with respect to number of columns. Enter number of columns. Okay, same thing happens here. I'm going to store that in C. Save it. Again, I'm compiling it. No error. I'm going to enter number of rows as 5, number of columns as 3. Now, after this statement, what I need to do is I need to construct an array, 2D array. I need to construct a 2D array, and that 2D array has to be constructed based on this number of rows R and the number of columns C, which was entered by the programmer. That means here the programmer is going to enter some value, and that value has been stored in R, and the programmer has entered some value, and that value has been stored in C, and as per that the memory is going to be allocated over here. And after that we'll be asking the user system.out.println enter plus R into C plus elements. R into C elements. Suppose the user entered 2 rows and 3 columns. Total how many things will be getting? Enter 6 elements. So by seeing this, the user is going to enter 6 elements in 6 lines, and that 6 elements should be stored in 2-dimensional array called X. So for that purpose, we need to write one for loop for I is equal to 0. I is less than number of rows, that is R, and then I plus plus, and then opening brace for J is equal to 0, and J is less than number of columns J plus plus. Okay, now here again we need to write A of ij is equal to so same thing, integer dot parse int of br dot read line, closing brace and closing brace. Okay, this is how we are accepting the array. Okay, clear with this, students? Everyone, let's see the execution part of this. Nothing is there, just like how you're writing in your C and C++, same thing. So number of rows I'm going to enter 2 here. Number of columns I'm going to enter 3 here. So I'm getting some message, enter 6 elements. I'm going to enter 6 elements, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, right? 6 elements I entered. Now the 6 elements I would like to print in matrix format. And how I'm going to print the 6 elements in matrix format means, just see, I'm going to copy it. Okay, and then I'm going to take here system dot out dot println. So number of rows 2, number of columns 3. It's asking me to enter 10 elements, 6 elements. I'm entering what 6 elements over here. So I got elements in matrix order 10, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any
Yes, sir.
doubts in this? It's going to be somewhat big logic for you, because till now we are seeing very simple programs, but this time we are went with somewhat different. So for the sake of this readline method, I need to create an object for this. Just try to remember this. That's it. But unfortunately, readline method reads the data in the form of string. So we are asking the user to enter number of rows. The user is entering some value. He will be thinking that he is going to enter the value as what integer, but we are using readline method over there, and this readline method is going to read that in the form of string. In order to convert that string to integer, we require this method parseInt. This parseInt is a method. Integer is a class. Integer is a class. I will be showing you where we can see about this integer and whether this integer contains this parseInt method or not. So this parseInt is calling with respect to class name C. This is class, and this parseInt is what a method. So this is calling, this parseInt method is calling with respect to integer, class. The meaning of this is, this method can be called as which method? Instance method or static method?
Instance methods.
Instance method, right? So I'm reading this R. After that, I'm reading the number of columns, and then I'm declaring an array. See how I'm constructed an array over here. After accepting R and C values, I constructed an array here, and then I'm asking the user to enter the elements. So inside this also, I'm writing some logic to enter the elements. Okay, and then I'm going to print the elements in matrix format. Clear? So now what you need to do is you need to perform matrix addition, subtraction, multiplication, and then transpose. Try to complete this and share it in the group by tomorrow, everyone. And those who don't have laptops with you, write it on one paper and scan it and send it to me. Okay, clear with this, everyone? Clear with this, students? Right, I'm going to.
Yes, sir.
I will be sending this thing in your WhatsApp group. And check your WhatsApp group, all of you. I will be sharing this program in the WhatsApp group. Okay, after completion of this, I will be sharing the program in the WhatsApp group. Right. So next thing, what we have in PPT, let's go through that fast. So construction, we already seen, and first dimension is mandatory. If you're not going to specify second dimension, also nothing is going to be happened. And we can take what x dot length means. It uses to see. This is very important, students. I constructed an array like this, which consists of 2 rows and 3 columns. When I'm going to take x dot length means it uses 2. The meaning of that is it contains 2-dimensional 1D arrays. And after that, x is or 0 dot length means it uses 3. If you are going to take x of 1 dot length means it uses again 3. Okay, and this is how we'll be declaring 3-dimensional arrays and construction of 3-dimensional array. Okay, clear with this, everyone? Response, students.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes.
This is how the memory is going to be. Oh, sorry. And this is how the memory is going to be allocated, and this is how the program for accepting 2-dimensional array and printing the elements of 2-dimensional array. Okay, and make a note of this programs, all of you, and you need to complete this programs. You need to send it to me with respect to arrays. First one is program to accept 1D array and print the same. Okay, this is the first program. Second program to accept 1D array and find minimum and maximum values by using function or by using method. Okay, next thing is program to accept 1D array and find the occurrence of each and every element. Count, we need to find the occurrence of each and every element in the count of occurrence of each and every element. Count of occurrence of each and every element. There. Next, program to accept two-dimensional array and print it in matrix order. Next, fifth, program to accept two 2D arrays and perform matrix addition and subtraction. Program to accept two 2D arrays and perform matrix multiplication. Seventh, program to accept 2D array and find the transpose. Transpose of that matrix or of that 2D array. A very simple program, students, and try to complete these programs by Saturday. Okay, not by Saturday, by Thursday you need to submit these programs. Those who have laptops, try to write the code for this and put it in all this along with outputs, put it in one single Word document and create a PDF, send it to me. If you don't have laptops, and put it on paper, scan that paper and send it to me by Thursday. Clear, students? Respond.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And those who
Yes,
are
sir.
going to submit this assignments, they are only allowed to write objective type examination, which was going to be conducted by the end of this week. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Right. Fine. So if you have any doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, you can leave.